It's a new year and a new chance for you to make a fresh start with your compliance. For the next 31 days on the FCPA Compliance Report, we're going to be bringing you a daily tip, strategy, or idea that you can use to improve your program. Here's your host, Tom Fox, the Compliance Evangelist.
Day 4, moving compliance tone down through an organization. Mike Volkov said, even when a company does all the right things at the senior management level, the real issue is whether or not the company has embedded itself in middle and lower management. A company's culture is reflected in the values and beliefs that exist throughout the company. To fully operationalize your compliance program, you must find a way to articulate and then drive the message of ethical values and doing business in compliance with such anti-corruption laws as the FCPA down through your organization. In the Evaluation of Corporate Compliance Programs 2019 guidance, it made clear that a company must have more than simply good tone at the top. It must move that tone down through an organization from the senior management to the middle management and into the lower ranks. This means that one task is to get middle management to respect the stated ethics and values of a company. Because if they do so, this will be communicated down through the organization. The 2019 guidance stated shared commitment and posed the following questions. What actions have senior leaders and middle management stakeholders, e.g. business and operational managers, finance, procurement, legal, and human resources, taken to demonstrate their commitment to compliance or compliance personnel, including their remediation efforts? Have they persisted in that commitment in the face of competing interests or business objectives? This requirement speaks to the greater role of non-compliance functions in fully operationalizing a corporate compliance program. Indeed, one sign of a mature compliance and ethics program is the extent to which the company's other corporate disciplines are involved in implementing that program and then taking that forward a compliance solution throughout the organization. This approach can act as a linchpin in spreading a company's commitment to compliance throughout the employee base. It can be used to connect the dots in many divergent elements of a corporate compliance and ethics program. These mandates are more than simply the ubiquitous tone at the top as they focus on the conduct throughout the organization. The DOJ wants to see concrete examples of doing compliance. What should the tone be in the middle of an organization? What should middle management's role be in the company's compliance program? This role is critical because the majority of company employees will work most directly with middle rather than top management. And consequently, they will take their cues from how middle management responds to such a situation. Perhaps most importantly, middle management must listen to the concern of employees. Even if middle management cannot afford a direct change, it is more important that employees have an outlet to express their concerns. Your organization should train middle managers to enhance listening skills in the overall context of providing training for their management toolkit. This can be particularly true if there is a compliance violation or other incident which requires some form of employee discipline. Most employees think it is important that there be organizational justice so that people believe they will be treated fairly. For if there is organizational justice, it engenders a perceived procedural fairness, which makes it more likely employees will be willing to accept a decision that they may not like or disagree with the end result. Even with great tone at the top and positive mood in the middle, you cannot stop there. One of the greatest challenges of a compliance practitioner is how to impact most frontline employees or the tone at the bottom. One of the things you can do is assemble a compliance focus group to find out how business is done in the field and if it differs from what your company expects from an ethical and compliance perspective. Begin by assembling a group of employees who are familiar with the challenges of doing business in a compliant manner in certain geographic regions to discuss the challenges of doing business ethically and in compliance. Ask them questions about understanding of your compliance regime. Then categorize the answers into theory and practice of compliance in your company. From this, test what is real in theory and what is real in practice. You can check and see which employees are promoted more regularly, those who do business ethically and in compliance, or those who meet their sales quotas every quarter. After you have internally tested, reassemble the original group and have them consider the beliefs that were articulated by themselves individually in the context of your compliance model testing. Lead a discussion that attempts to identify what is different in practice and theory, and then you can move from theory to practice to operationalizing your compliance regime. Finally, and in the feedback step, test how more fully operationalized your compliance regime really is. These tests can be accomplished in the regular course of business or through a special project with a special team and a separate budget. By engaging employees at this level, you will find out not only what the employees think about the compliance program, but use their collective experience to help better design a more effective compliance program. Employees want to do business in an ethical manner. Giving employees the chance to engage in a business the right way as opposed to cheating will win their hearts and minds almost all of the time. By using this protocol, you can not only find the effect of your compliance program on the employees at the bottom, but you will affect them as well. Employees often look to their direct supervisor to determine the tone of an organization and what it will be going forward. Many employees of large multinational organizations have never had direct contact with the CEO or even senior management. By moving the values of compliance through an organization into the middle, you will be in a much better position to inculcate these values and operationalize them down into the bottom. So what are the 3 key takeaways? Well, number 1, tone at the top. Direct supervisors have the most important influence on employees in the company. Number 2, give your middle managers a toolkit around compliance so they can fully operationalize compliance. And number 3, organizational justice is an additional way to help fully operationalize compliance. Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox again. I'd like to thank you for listening to day 4 of 31 days to a more effective compliance program. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow and take up another strategy, tactic, or pointer that you can use in your compliance program. 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.